Daisy Pearce comes in at 8 o'clock on a Wednesday every week, and we love having her in. Welcome to you, Daisy.
Good morning, boys. Great to be here.
You look nice and bright and sharp this morning, and you've brought in a very special guest, which we love.
I
Now,
have.
Melbourne Football Club in the AFLW got the draft pick number 78, Whispers,
Yes.
in this recent draft.
And I was hoping they took this particular person
They
too.
called the name Crystal Mary Jane Petresky. And we know the name Petresky. Petresky Seaton from a Sam point of view with the Carlton Footy Club. Cousin of. Is this right, Daisy?
Let's ask Crystal. Oh, I believe so.
Yeah.
And
So,
good friend.
Good morning.
Crystal,
Good morning,
and
Crystal.
welcome to you, Crystal.
Good morning.
Great to see you. How excited are you to be part of the Melbourne Football Club?
Oh, I'm very, very excited. Yeah, can't wipe the smile off my face. I haven't. Since it happened.
Crystal's story is amazing.
The backstory.
It is amazing. You come from a place called
All right, so I'm from Halls Creek
Halls
in
Creek,
Western Australia.
and that's near where?
So
Nothing.
Broome, yeah, desert town. Broome would be our main big town in the Kimberleys, and we're 8 hours inland from Broome, so it's a fair drive. Yeah.
Don't tell me you had to go to Broome for training.
No. We jump on about 3 planes to get to Halls Creek.
So you left Halls Creek at what age?
So I left Halls Creek when I was 11.
To go?
Yeah, I went to boarding school in Sydney, so I
Right.
attended William Clark College for about 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
How did all that come about?
So at the time in Sydney, there was a program that ran for Halls Creek students to attend William Clark College and Pacific Hills in Sydney. And yeah, I got lucky. I got the call up I got offered a scholarship to go down and to go to attend William Clark College. And I did take that. So I jumped on a plane, went to Sydney.
At 11
Why,
years of
though?
age?
Yeah. What drives an 11-year-old girl to decide she's going to move to Sydney to go to school? Like, what was the reason for you?
Well, big influence on my family and my parents. Obviously, they driven that as well. But at a young age, I realised that there wasn't many opportunities in Halls Creek, and I knew that I have a bright future and things that I wanted to achieve and my ambition. So I knew I couldn't get that done in Halls Creek. So
That's an amazing thing for an
Took it into my
11-year-old
own
to
hands.
decide, though, Crystal.
I worked that out at a very young age. So I was very lucky.
Just describe, for people listening, where you grew up, though, Halls Creek. What's there?
Yeah, so Halls Creek is very small. We have about 1,000 people. Our biggest shop would be an IGA. So we don't even have a Coles. We don't have Macca's.
Nothing.
One straight road that has all our shops on it.
Footy Oval?
Yeah, we do have a footy oval, pretty big one, full of bindies and bit of red dirt there.
I haven't heard the word bindies for a long, long time. Crystal. They're like a little, for people who don't know, they are.
Oh, they are like, what's the word to use? Prickles?
A prickle,
yeah,
yeah.
prickles, yeah.
As soon as you say it, you can feel it, though. Even if you
Yeah.
haven't heard the word,
So,
straight away you know the feeling. that
When you
goes
play on
with
that
it,
footy
don't
oval, you know you don't want to hit the
No, nasty,
you wanna
nasty
play-
bindy eye on the hamstring doesn't help.
Because you would have
That goes
played
up
without
there
boots
with a
as a
buckled
kid.
rib, wouldn't it? A bindi on the
Yeah, so I did wear boots, but a lot of the kids like to run barefoot.
Yeah.
So we had fun on that
God
oval,
help
playing
me.
barefoot.
We were chatting before we came on because I met Crystal when she drove in. I said, when did you get your licence? How? She got it back in Western Australia. We were talking about how many hours you needed. She said 50 and that she got it in one weekend driving back to get milk.
To get milk.
Yeah. No, I had to do that very quickly because I had to fly back to Sydney. So all my hours had to be done on holidays. And the licensed people that do your license, they're not actually based in Halls Creek, so they come every now and then, and you get lucky if you get your license during then.
Hey, Crystal, I can't get my head around an 11-year-old leaving Halls Creek and going to Sydney to school. You must have been homesick as a young girl.
Yeah, so you do get very homesick, but I don't know about the.
How did you manage that then?
I knew that. Halls Creek never changed when I went back for holidays either. So I was just like, I'm not really. I mean, I'm missing like things that, waking up every morning, saying good morning to your parents,
Yeah.
seeing your brother ride his first potty calf and stuff like that. Little things that people take for granted. Like, I do miss that a lot, and I was pretty sad that I didn't get to experience that. But then I do know, like, me leaving creates a better opportunity and pathway for other kids
Fantastic.
and for myself. So
Great.
And you're only 18 now.
yeah, turned 18 in April.
So how long have you lived in boarding school or in a boarding house?
So I was in Sydney for 3 years. Went back to WA for about a month.
Yeah.
Then shipped over to Melbourne. So I've been here since.
You talked about riding potty calves. Now, famously, your cousin Sam Petreski Seaton has been described as the son of a rodeo rider, or is that in the?
They call him the cowboy.
Is that in the family? Is it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So my grandparents actually own cattle stations. So
Right.
I grew up riding horses, riding potties as well.
Right.
Yeah, I got stood on a few times. I'm not gonna lie.
So you're a family of great rodeo riders.
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
When did you first pick a footy up?
So in Horse Creek, the only two sports that you actually play that's there is footy and basketball. So I picked my first footy up when I was a little bubba, like tiny, because all my brothers played it, and obviously I grew up with all the boys, so
Yeah.
I was a big footy fan.
So did you? You wouldn't have. There would have only been one competition, I would imagine. So did you have to play against the boys the whole time?
So yeah, in school we had the Clontarf Foundation, which was
Of course, yeah.
Jared,
Yeah,
Jared
so-
Neesham, yeah.
So I was a part of the Clontarf Foundation right up until I couldn't play no more. So I was about 13, but I played with the boys right to that. And even the leagues in the like East Kimberley, there's only men's league, and so all the younger boys play up with the men's. But I was obviously not allowed to play in that league, so I played right up in Clontarf until I wasn't allowed to. And then even in Sydney, I didn't play with the girls. I played with the boys. First time actually playing my first women's game was in Melbourne.
What about once you got to Melbourne? You've been involved in the Kickstart program. How important has that been, not just for your footy, but
Yeah.
in your life and I guess staying connected culturally while you've been
Yeah.
down here?
Yeah, so like the Indigenous programs that the AFL have and offer it's amazing because you go in these camps, you meet so many people and you just create all those friendships and those connections, and it's also good to learn we're all Aboriginal, but every Aboriginal culture every Aboriginal mob is different, so
Yeah.
it's good to learn everyone else's culture and connect through footy, which everyone loves.
So-
I've just got to say on that, we had Chrissy Johnson come out to Melbourne last night to do some, I guess, cultural insight training with our group. And with no disrespect to him, there was nothing that he said that Crystal hasn't taught me in the 2 weeks that we've known each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's already had a huge impact on
Yeah.
our group and awesome to have her as a part of the team.
Yeah, and those programs as well, like they develop you as a player, but also as a person. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, when you hear about Aboriginal people, that shame comes into it, like scared to talk and whatever. But those programs, they really help you to blossom and
Sorry, I'm not waving at you.
come
I'm
out of
waving
your
at our
shell. Oh,
producer.
no, you're
Christian.
right.
What do you see yourself? I mean, obviously you're going to play footy and you're really excited about that. But what is it that you're wanting to do outside of footy as well? Will you have some time to devote your attention to other things
Yeah, so I do want to work, but I also want to go to university.
and study what?
So I want to study youth work and sport and exercise science.
She's got an exam today, so we're
Oh.
very
Yeah.
lucky. She's got
Oh.
her final Year 12 exam this afternoon.
No, I'm pretty pumped.
Let me tell you,
Have you been-
Christian, this is what some of the people, they're having heard you for the first time, this is what some of our listeners are saying. This is the best interview I've heard on your show. She sounds like a beautiful young lady. Well done to her. I hope she succeeds in anything she wishes for her future, dispelling a lot of the stereotypes. You go, girl. That's from Angelique. Crystal's brilliant, boys. What an impressive young girl. And then someone tells me that you're an artist as well. Is that right? Do you do a bit of painting?
Painting.
Yeah. Or is this someone just having a lend to me here?
I can draw and I can paint a bit. Wouldn't say I'm an artist, but
No, well, within reason. You
I'm
haven't
not
painted.
too bad. I'm not too bad.
Within this group, if you can paint and draw, you're an artist.
Exactly right.
I'd
And what
consider
about when
myself-
you arrived at the Melbourne Football Club? You got drafted at pick 78. What happened? Did they come and talk to you and say, we're interested in taking you? Did Daisy come in as the big superstar and sort of do her stuff?
Daisy actually let me in the building. Oh, well, she almost let me in the building. I didn't have my swipe yet, so I was outside and it was pissing down rain.
No, to go back pre-draft
yeah,
though,
actually,
because
yeah.
this is another insight just
Yeah,
into
yeah.
how driven this girl is.
Yeah, so I had no idea Demons were going to pick me up
Right.
at all until literally that.
Yeah.
when
The
they
day.
called my name out.
Oh,
I
when
had-
they called the name.
Yeah, so I had a meeting with Demons day before the draft.
Right.
Yeah, so like that literally just happened, and
To the point where her parents and family had flown down for graduation the days before, and she sent them home on the day before the draft.
I sent them home.
Forgot to tell them the draft was.
Yeah, I know, that was my
They'd
mistake.
flown all the way from the Kimberley.
It was a big 2 weeks.
So when did you discover this thing called AFLW?
I think when everyone else discovered it. Do you mean?
You were aware of it.
The whole competition. Like this is a pretty new competition, the AFLW.
Yeah.
So when were you first aware of this competition? When did you set your sights on wanting to play in this competition?
I always want to.
You always wanted to play footy,
yeah, highest level of footy. Coming from Horse Creek, I was hoping that there'd be a women's league by the time it was coming around to my draft
Right.
year, and very lucky there was. But yeah, I didn't actually, when I first moved to Melbourne, I didn't realise how big girls' footy was.
Right.
Like, even the local leagues, like, I come and played my first game, and it was crazy how big it was. And I couldn't believe it because, well, now we have a women's league in the Kimberleys, but before then, I had no idea that so many girls played footy.
And what sort of an impact will your journey and the pathway you've been on have back home, do you think?
I think that my journey will have a big impact on girls and our younger generations coming through.
No doubt.
Because obviously now they can see that I've made it, and I hope to open that pathway and create that pathway for them too.
You'll be a
Obviously,
superstar, Crystal. You'll be a superstar going back home. You just sign autographs.
Nah, I'm just a small town Horse Creek kid.
On that, there's about 11% of players in men's AFL are Indigenous, and in the girls, it's only about 3% at the moment. Is there anything culturally that's going to make that hard going forward, or do you think it's simply just that it's in the early stages of the comp?
I think it's just the early stages of the comp because, obviously it takes a lot of guts playing with boys, and now that the Women's League and the Kimberleys is actually blossoming, and there's a lot of talent. Like, so many girls play footy, and so many girls are so good at it. Like, the talent in the Kimberley region is like, it's crazy how talented everyone is. But obviously, you got to be driven, and you got to not get homesick. you got to have that mentality to.
Okay,
Crystal, can you stay with us a little bit longer?
Yeah.
What time's your exam?
It's not two, so we're right.
Till 2. Okay.
Yeah, we've got plenty of time.
A lot of people are loving it. And Crystal Petrevski is her name, drafted at pick number 78. She's going to be a revelation for the Demons in the AFLW. Daisy Pearce has brought in one of her newest teammates. Daisy's here for AFL Select Footy Stars Collector Cards. Her name's Crystal Petrevski. She is the cousin of Sam Petreski-Seaton.
And we can't shut her up
She's taken
either.
at pick 78. She just said during the ad break, I couldn't stand up in front of the group and talk. And me and we said, I reckon you could. And Daisy, they're saying don't ever bring anyone in again, Daisy. You might not get back.
Oh, I'm happy with that. It's part of the reason I did bring her in, is because great story and great character, but also since the minute I met you about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I haven't been able to shut her up. So I thought I'll come and let her blow off some steam on radio, get it all out of her system so that we can get some peace and quiet back around Amy Park. What do you reckon, Crystal?
No, I don't know about that. No. The dancing hasn't come out yet. So everyone will be keen for that.
Hey, you're just about running the Carlton Football Club too now, I hear. Is that right? You've been picking Sam and everybody, you've been driving them around?
Yeah, so when I first moved down, I didn't have a car here yet.
Right.
But I did have my license, so obviously, I'd always go to my brother's games and a few of his housemates. So after the game, they just make me drive. So I'd be driving the boys around, let them sit in the passenger seat. It was good practice for me, because Melbourne roads are
What do you think of
crazy.
Melbourne traffic?
I'm not the best fan of it. Melbourne traffic.
What about the weather?
I actually love the weather.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm
Nice and cool.
I'm pretty good with the weather.
What about the food? Because one thing I've learned in the few weeks that I have learned going to all the hipster cafes that we drag her to for a coffee after a Saturday morning running session.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big fan of goat's cheese and farro, and she's always asking, what's that?
Look, Melbourne's food central, I think. So many different foods, but good luck getting me to try some.
What would you like when you go for brekkie? What's your just bacon and eggs?
No, ham and cheese croissant. Yeah,
That's pretty fancy.
We've made a deal, Crystal and I, that she's going to try something each time we go out, and she said, yeah, that's all well and good. But
Yeah, I just
the
keep it
deal goes
simple.
both ways. I'm going to have to try stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, hang on. What do you mean?
We're planning a trip in advance, so
Yeah.
the girls all coming up to the Kimberleys.
And what's on the menu when I come up there?
So we got bush turkey, goannas,
Barty
berries,
grub.
brims.
Barty grub.
Yeah, that too. You can eat that.
So if we came out to where you come from, and Gary and I said, okay, we're going to come out and we're going to stay a week with you out there at Halls Creek.
Yep.
Halls Creek. What would we be doing? What would we be seeing?
So Halls Creek is pretty dry community actually. So our closest water hole would be that runs all year would be Palm Springs. So it's a spring.
How far
So
away?
that's about 50 k's on dirt track. So the Duncan Highway.
Long way for a swim.
Oh, but it's worth it. water's great. Yeah.
No crocs
And
out there, is it?
No crocs there,
Okay,
but
okay.
the views, very good.
Magnificent. Yeah.
Yeah. But we normally go to our closest near towns. We have a lot of rivers and stuff that, man, you want to go on a fishing trip? Let's go.
Yeah. What do we catch out there?
Barras,
Barras out there.
brim. Yeah, brim's a good
Tim's
one.
a bit fussy where he likes the big hotels. What sort of
No,
hotel
I don't.
do you...
No, I don't. I'm a camper. You've never
You're a
camped in your
camper?
life. I'm a camper.
We don't sleep in tents. We sleep in swags.
Oh,
So
what?
you don't need a tent. No. You need
Never
a
mind
canvas
about-
and a bed.
Fishing. Talk us through the quick version of chasing a goanna.
Oh, so yeah, chasing a goanna is it's a fun thing to do.
I thought they turned on you, goannas.
Yeah, they do.
Got a scar on her
That's
forearm.
the fun thing about it. So you're just driving in the car. You got to have the door unlocked ready because we're in the bush and, they're very fast. So you want to test your running skills. Yeah, chase a goanna.
You grab them by the tail, or how do you?
Yeah, if you can grab them, you grab them by the tail because they're pretty hard to get. But yeah, it's fine. You just be ready, see the goanna,
Have you
jump out
been-
and start chasing them.
Have you been bitten by a goanna? Yes or no?
Nipped.
Does that cut? They say that the goanna cut opens up once every 12 months or something like that. Is that true or not?
You made that up.
Clearly not.
You made that up, Wisp.
I got a few scars. So I actually, I don't remember.
Hey, Crystal, you are an absolute delight and a breath.
I hope you can
of
play
fresh
footy,
air.
Crystal.
Yeah. This is a message comes through. These homesick AFL players should be ashamed of themselves after listening to this delightful young lady. You've made a huge impact. Crystal Petreski is her name. Pick 78 for the Demons in the AFLW draft. Days, you were magnificent this morning. You were.
My best segment of all time.
We wish you well, Crystal. You're at a great football club with a great history, and you've got 2 new fans in Tim and I, and a whole host of others out there as well. Good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.